And we're live. Morning, Karen.
Hello.
How are you?
Hey,
How are you?
how am I? Well, I've had a lovely 2 weeks off of sun and fun and not having to set an alarm
Where have you been?
at my home on the lake. So, yeah, it's been good to just do our own thing and let your body wake up when it wants to. It's
Oh
really amazing when that happens.
that is incredible. Is that a normal thing?
No, no, we're back to waking up at 5 now because that's when the alarm goes off.
Yes.
So, and I do fine with that. I get back into that rhythm, but it just reminder that we do have a natural clock inside of us, and when you let it work, it's pretty cool.
Yeah.
How about you? How are you?
Um, so it's similar. I had a basically 2 weeks where I got to wake up when I wanted to wake up and do what I wanted to do for 2 weeks. We had friends visiting from Australia, which was great. It was a lot. Our days were full, even though they weren't really full of things to do. They were just full because you're entertaining. And then it was weird when they left. I was like, oh, like I felt empty when they were gone, which was really weird because it was like I said, it's a lot to host people for that length of time. Even though they weren't staying with us overnight, they were here the rest of the time.
Right.
Um, but yeah, that's a novel idea, waking up when your body wakes you up. I
Mhm.
got that experience for a couple of weeks, and this last week I've been back to the 5 a.m. up, crack of dawn to go to work. Um, and just as an aside for this morning check-in, I'm nervous.
Hmm.
It's been a while since we did one. And I'm like, what do I do? What do I have to get ready? Panicking, get the thumbnail. What's our topic? What am I talking about? And just being ready to be on.
Mm.
I haven't had to be on in a while.
Mm.
And it's kind of refreshing not have to be on.
I dig deep into that one, but
Yeah, hey,
during
we
the
could. We could
behavioral
do a whole
coaching
coaching session
conversation.
on what that's all about.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, it's, yeah, yeah, there's I guarantee there's something there around having to feel prepared and ready and on and at your best and all that stuff. And I haven't had to put anything on in order to be the last several weeks.
Mm.
So yeah, that's this is going to come up later. So let's remind me of this kind of feeling that I have now
Okay.
in a few minutes because this is not intended, but I can feel it bubble. So it'll be worth sharing.
Well, can I just, before we step
Yeah.
in, I think I want to honor a bit there of me in yesterday when I wrote out to you, right? Because you know me, now I'm getting
What's our
anxious.
what's our topic? What are we gonna
What's our
do?
topic? Are we? And but what I've been practicing, and this is where I really appreciate the work we do in coaching when what what you get to take along with you, what my action plan
Mm,
is to be in life with ease and lightheartedness.
yeah.
So that time I was, coached around my, how I wanted to show up, it what it does, it regulates me now. So I don't know if you remember my last text said, let's have fun.
No, and
So,
I wondered if I say now that
go ahead.
you're bringing this back to my attention, I'm now that I'm hearing you say that, it's like a reminder to you, let's have fun. Not necessarily for me, but for you. Does that make sense?
Well, I think we both care deeply about doing things well.
Yeah.
Uh,
What?
we're not,
You just revealed this to the world? Can you hold something back? Yeah.
and so, and because I know you and we've been together for a long time and worked together, which
Yeah.
is a really wonderful core value to have in our work. Uh, but this is about, being ourselves. And I have to remind myself this 30 minutes is set up for us to just show up and share something. And for me, I'm working at practicing doing it with joy and fun.
Hmm.
So I hope I can show up in my intention today with you.
Uh, awesome. That's great. Actually, hold on a second. I want to see if I can bring up something else here. Um, can I do this? Just a sec. Computer upload and oh, it won't let me do it. Okay. All right. So I was just going to show you the thumbnail that I created for this morning. Essentially, it's you and I in a room, and it says the oh, it's this is our topic for today's show. The dirtiest word in coaching is, and it's me like with a bubble, like looks like a swear word, and you're like, like all shocked and stuff. Anyways, I think it's cute. However, so that's the premise of today is the dirtiest word in coaching is, and you might be shocked to hear this, but it's the word coaching. And I've used this to be kind of provocative, whatnot, because coaching is used in so many different avenues. Even when I plugged it into AI this morning, it came up with a bunch of like coaches' whistles and things in the background, right? Like it's got a different meaning to different people because it's used in sports coaching and business coaching and life coaching and you name the prefix and coaching, and there's a zillion professions of people who are doing this. So it means a lot of different things to a lot of different people. And I want to say, in large part, the word coaching is synonymous really with teaching, instruction, planning, and things like that. And I am generalizing here, but as a point. So when people come to us, they will often want, like, ask us, what's the plan? What should I do? Can I have some advice? Like, they want you to tell them what to do. And that's not what we do. That's not what that's not why we're here. And you made a great suggestion on we could bring up the Paul Lefebvre quote as a good kickoff point for where what we believe coaching to be for us and how we show up and use coaching in our work. So I'll bring that up at the stage. Karen, do you want to read this?
Sure. I actually memorized it.
Well, for everybody else, if we haven't all memorized it.
Well, this was my first introduction. This was the quote that was presented, and that took me into the domain of coaching, actually. Coaching is not about teaching the caterpillar how to fly, it's about creating an opening for it to see the possibility.
Now, without, I almost feel like the butterfly story is required in order for this to be understood more fully. Do you mind, without any prompting, being able to recite the butterfly metaphor so
Yeah,
that people can get a sense of what that opening of
I
the
can.
butterfly is?
So when I saw that, I was in a workshop, just being introduced to coaching, and Paul asked us, "What did that mean? What do you think that means?" And I said out loud, my internal voice spoke out loud and said, "I don't have a clue." And the guy beside me said, "I think I can help." And so he put up his hand and he talked about he worked for Parks Canada. He was in the park every day. He walked through the park at lunchtime. And one day he found on a branch a cocoon and it was moving. And when he went over to it, he could see inside the cocoon there was a butterfly. And so he stood there. He thought, this is going to be amazing. I'm going to get to see how this all unfolds. And after about 20 minutes, not much had changed. You could see there was a lot of pushing going on, but not much was changing. And then two things were happening. He obviously needed to get back to work, but he also saw struggle. So he tore the end where the hole was slightly open, just a little bit. And sure enough, within a minute, the cocoon opened up. And what happened was the butterfly fell on the ground and died. And what he discovered was that in the butterfly culture, the last purpose of the cocoon is for the butterfly to push on it and push on it so it can build the muscles and the strength of the wings so it can fly on its own. And so that was my introduction to seeing that coaching isn't about, helping people get there quicker. It was about helping them build the muscles or the capacities or strengthen their way forward so they could do it on their own. And that was a fundamental rethink for me on my definition of what I saw going on in the world of coaching. Coaching for giving advice for new technology, coaching on my curling team. It really shifted my thinking of what my role could be or my contribution could be in supporting others.
So, so if we were to put that into our own words, or you put you for you first, if you were to put that into your own words, what would you say coaching is for you?
Well, I'd like to hear yours, and then I want to bounce off of it. Remember, I told you today I'd like to put my hook on yours.
That's
I
all right.
think
You
I'll
can
ride better
you can hook
along
my
with you.
fish. That's fine. Um, yeah. So I believe that we all have the best answers inside of ourselves for ourselves. I say that every time we get together, as far as coaching and when we're sharing this with other people, because we have more inside of us than the other person who's coaching us can ever know. And we're the CEO of our life, and we know where we want to take it, and we have those answers. So my role as a coach is to support somebody in uncovering what that is, uncover, helping them uncover it. And why I wanted you to remind me to come back to that, what was bubbling up, is because you asked me a very simple question, and it brought something out of me that I wasn't expecting. And without that question, I'm even getting emotional just thinking about it. Without you asking that question, I may not have gone there. And I don't think you were probing. You were just asking a question that made that you were following me where I was. And if we were in a coaching conversation, we could have followed that thread a little bit. So you asked it, and then I had that kind of like first wave of like awareness that I didn't have before. And we would have explored that, and I could have dug deeper and found my own answer. But a lot of coaching that we will experience in today's world, the way I was describing it earlier, you would have just given me like, okay, this is your 5 step plan. You're going to do X, you're going to do Y, you're going to do Z. It's going to give us this result, and then we'll see where we take it from there. And I would never have had the breakthrough of having that thing bubble up out of me, and then me try to like tackle the thing that I want to tackle that's related to that. There's a certain amount of joy and fulfillment that comes from finding your own thing and then following your path versus someone giving it to you. And I think that's where the follow through comes, because it's yours, it's your baby. It's not theirs. They want to help you succeed, and they want you to help you get there faster. You want to rip the little cocoon open sooner, but it doesn't mean that it's going to work for you or it's the best path for you. It's just an option for you if you chose to. But will you?
We often relate to the topic versus the person. So what happens is our giver muscle, our advice giving, our caring muscle says, look, I was in your situation. I have, you know what I did? So it's well intended.
Mm,
But again, when in the coaching development work that we do in the practice, is that we're coaching, we're getting curious about how is that person seeing the topic? What's their current, opinion of it? We don't jump to action too soon because they haven't even got their own full picture yet, and neither do you. So if you do even want to be of service to them in whatever role you play or whatever methodology or way you coach, that first part's very important. If you have a nugget of something to give to them from your experience or your knowledge or your training, if you don't have all of that, it's not really that useful. You
hmm
may be giving advice or a way forward that's not even about what they need right now or what's getting in their way. It's just their initial reaction. So that was a big unlearning for me, Ian, is to, hold back, restrain myself, to make it more about let me stay more curious longer. So what we're doing is in this work is we're coaching the person, the being, and what they do, and they're interconnected. If I have a belief system that um, you know that's getting in my way, no matter what advice I give you, if I don't know what that is, you're not going to be able to do anything with it. So when you attend to both sides, it allows for potential action to be, oh, that makes sense to me. I feel confident I could do that. Now I realize I need to change the way I'm looking at that. I kind of have a sense that I might be getting in my own way. So it really helps them kind of go, hey, what's the new path now? Because often we get in our own way of making it
Mm.
as individuals. I'm guilty of that all the time. I'm challenging myself constantly these days. How am I getting in my way today? Which is quite often.
Well, that's the thing. So we even have a workshop where we talk about and help people coach through that first step, because that first step is often even unknown to even to the person who's brought the topic with them. So if you in if you went to a business coach, let's say, who was going to give you an action plan, they may be giving you the action plan for steps 2, 3, and 4, but you don't have your first step yet. What's your first step? What's getting in your way of getting there, and why is that? So it's the coach. That's the difference between coaching the person and coaching the topic. So um, I remember we coached you quite a long time ago now on your business card, because your business card was a big deal. Does anybody even have business cards anymore? They're just pieces of paper that I throw out every now and then when I do cleanup of my office. So we remember coaching you on your business card, but it was never, the business card was not the problem. There was something keeping you from producing the business card. Do you remember what that was?
Hmm. I do. It was a conversation with my partner. So, and the reason why it unfolded is you had the wisdom, you were coaching me, and people were observing our coaching conversation, and you felt my hesitation, and you said, I have never forgotten the question. You said, "What's weighing you down, Karen?" And I remember feeling that
Mm,
weight, and I realized it was I needed to talk to Glenn about what does post public service look like for me. I'm not going to be, having your dinner ready, and like he saw me as, oh, she's retired, she's going to be able to take care of. And I understand that, and
look at look at
I
Karen
did,
back.
and I have. But the picture he had, and it was irritating him that I felt a desire to do something with my coaching work,
Mm,
and you don't need to, and why are you doing that, and blah, blah, blah. So I realized that was getting in the way of me even considering a business card. So that really helped me because I could have got my business card done. There was, there were a ton of people that even after I was coached emailed me, I'll help you, I know how to do it, you can e-transfer the money to me. Like, there were so many people wanting me to get out in the world, but that wasn't what I needed to pay attention to.
yeah, it's
But
the
can I say something
yeah, for
about
sure.
coaching? This is so important. So there's an example. Like, there's multi layers to making action happen, and a lot of it is internal state. We know this. We all understand this. We just don't know how to have these conversations safely and comfortably with others. And what we do in our coaching work is help baby steps, tools, approaches, practices, so it's more easy and more comfortable to do with yourself and with others. But there are times, for example, you use the word business coach. And I've coached somebody who wanted to get her business going, but she had work to do just to get herself ready.
Hmm.
But there was a time when then she needed the expert. So I did connect her, help her get connected to a business coach. Like, all of the nuts and bolts, that's down in action. The expert. How do you launch your business? What are the, counting things? What are the big corporate? Do you incorporate or not? No, that's not my forte. So this word coach, there's many distinctions of coaching, and they're all important.
Yep.
I think some of them are expert models, and in some instances, we're mentoring the person.
Yes, that was one of my little jotty notes earlier, was the
But
same.
mentoring's fuzzy for people. Coach is clear. People know coaching means I'm going to get some help and I'm going to be better. So it's got a positive, I think, lens around it. Like, when you got a coach, like I'm at the gym and I've hired a coach, like, people think, whoa, she's taking this seriously. So there's something about that word or that relationship that people are going, good at her. But if I say I'm working with a mentor, or I'm working with a strategy guy, it doesn't have the same whoa to it,
Cachet.
in my opinion.
And I'm not poo-pooing that those roles are not important. It's the first step for me that I think is so valuable, because that first step of figuring out what's in your way first and making sure that you're it's almost like in mental health, you don't know, you can't see what's going on in here, right? There's a lot of steps that have to happen in here before you can do the thing out here. So once that's clear and they know what they need to work through, they may have that inspiration to go, you know what, I think I do need a business coach who's going to tell me the steps I need to take to set up my business for success. Once I've had the conversation with my spouse about what this means for us and how this is going to impact us and all the other stuff that's kind of behind the scenes that's in here that needs to happen first. And that might be the right process for that person, but they will know. They will know if they're missing that teaching or instruction or systematic plan that they need for their business once they've worked through step one.
The top athletes know this. It's called The Inner Game. There's a book on it. And so having, you know, in the hockey, there's psychology, like coaches that deal with the psychology of the game, building resiliency and recovery and focus, all of those skills. And so that would be the second thing. You have to have both. You have to have the technical, and what we often forget is when we're trying to move in a direction that is, and most of the people that come to get coaching, they're trying to build, get somewhere, grow something, better something, implement something, change something. Like they're moving forward in a direction that isn't typically the way they've done in the past. So when you start to know both are important. I need someone to help me work on my inner game and build the doing parts, build my strengths, my competencies on the doing side. They're both intertwined. They're interconnected. And so the more, as people get more aware that this other side of development is necessary, important, uh, useful, kind of nice to have, I
Mm-hmm.
think and I do believe there's more and more awareness that these are interconnected.
Yeah. Um, I know we've struggled between the two of us when we talk about our coaching work and when we're trying to teach people about it in the kind of public sphere, in the outside of government, but when we sometimes struggle with even using the word coaching when we're teaching people how to use coaching practices within their conversations, right? So we may not be, because we know that the practices within our coaching models help. They help advance conversations, they help move things forward, they help people uncover their own answers. Um, but because that coaching word is so broad, people get lost.
And they think they have to do it all the time, or it's this big heavy lift. And what we've purposely, we've simplified it, and I don't mean that in a negative way. That there are some
Doable. It's
basic stuff,
doable. It's
that there's some basic things that we have that we've learned, we've embodied, we practice every day, that have they're not about getting into a coaching conversation all day long. They just make our current conversations better.
mhm.
So and this is interesting because we just had some feedback from our last year. We asked our participants to give us some rigor feedback. We called it the good, the bad, and the ugly. We really need to learn because we describing this part that we're doing in a way that makes sense and resonates and will attract the everyday conversations of people that say, I want to have better conversations with my partner, with my family, at work. I just want to know. I mean, we all know that there's some that we're a little rusty at. I'm still practicing. I
Uh,
mean,
uh,
yeah, I have some really big ones I have to go into. Again,
Hmm.
I don't want to. I know I have to for the sake of a person. I have to get myself ready and skill myself back in to those big conversations. So I'm literally getting ready. I'm learning, I'm kind of embodying and practicing on my own because these are really important conversations. And so getting them back and, tuning them up again. I put them down in everyday life. I don't have to have them. I'm not on. You don't have to be on all of them. You actually said it
I
earlier.
said it earlier.
It's
Yep, I don't have to
interesting that
be
this
on.
is coming up, right? You bring them in when it's like, this is an important conversation, and I know these tools and this approach will really help me have it the best opportunity to engage with that person.
Yeah, actually, I'm having a little flashback to I'm gonna call it a conversation a couple of days ago with my daughter. It wasn't really a conversation, it was a yelling match. So I definitely wasn't in the right frame of mind to be coaching my daughter, and I was definitely pushing action. And a lot of the work that we do, you have to be reflective. Like that conversation didn't go well. Why did it not go well? Because I was forcing my agenda on her. She's not ready for it, and there's a reason why. So I need, I know I need to revisit that conversation, but from a relationship, from a curiosity standpoint, and try to understand her viewpoint and not just try to force my way, my will on her to make something change. So these tools, they're they need a little bit of love. They need to be pulled out. They need to be practiced. They need to be used, and then used in a way that is going to serve your conversations. If you want them to be better, you need to practice them more. But you almost need to get messy in order to learn them. So I know this is a little bit of an offshoot of where we began, but I think this is why we're passionate about the work that we do, is because it does add value to everyday conversations when used well and when practiced.
I just think it's key what you've just described, though. We've been talking around our domain, the domain, and I think if you look at the formal, the Federation of Coaching, this is the methodology they see as the foundation of coaching. Is you build. It doesn't mean you don't mess up in your engagement and conversations with others. You're human. But what you described was the self awareness afterwards and the ability to go back and self correct,
Mhm.
and own your and go back in. So that's muscle development all alone, right, all on its own. And I had this similar situation last night with Glenn, and I owned my inappropriate reaction to something,
Mhm.
and I hurt his feelings. And so I said I need to own that. That wasn't fair. I don't know if I would have been able to do that well in my past without the skills and the tools. So really, we're just the part that just why we've stayed together outside of the coaching practice that you have with your clients is we know that it really sustains relationships. It makes you feel better. You know how to do this kind of stuff. This is what organizations talk to us all about. How do we make sure people can, you know how to reconnect, know how to recover, know how to come back and say, I'd like to talk more about that. I didn't like how I approached that right now. But I still want you to understand where I'm coming from.
Mhm.
Would you be willing to like re-engage with me? This is what creates healthy relationships, healthy workplaces. So that's why we've continued to, you know, and decided this is going to be what we pay attention to and offer out to the world because it's valuable and we have found a way to do it that's practical, replicable, and digestible.
Mhm. I can't say it any better myself.
So hopefully in the fall, and we're going to try to get clearer. That was our feedback, that be clear about who you want to reach out to from our those that have been participating with us, and we really appreciate that. And that's what we're going to be working on. now that we're back from holidays.
Yeah, so stay tuned. We should have a lineup of workshops coming your way shortly. So stay tuned. Take care, everybody.